Okay.
You will be amazed. Prime time interview with Derrick Hayes. Prime time, biggest names in the game. Prime time, new names to love the same. Yes, y'all. Like I tell you each and every time, prime time. See, the M is silent. You might be looking at it and saying prime time, but it's prime time because in life, the smaller things will quietly lead you to the big opportunity. Like I tell you, check me out, y'all. Each and every time, follow me on all social media platforms at Entertainer and even on Cash App. Tonight is very special. Tonight is very special. We have a young lady who's from Nigeria.
Woo.
She brought her game to the NYC, to New York City.
Hey.
Not only is she a media personality, but this young lady is an entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to some, and I introduce the others. They call her SK from way. Santa Kibz. How you doing today?
Hi, everybody. I am Kibz. I am radio host, personality, and so many other things. And I'm so happy to be here.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, this is one of her websites right here. As you see the bow tie. Jewelry. You know, I was so inspired. I put it on my tie. AWKM.
Hey. I love that. Thank you.
You can follow her Awaken Jewelry at Awaken Jewelry. That's the social media platform for that. And Sana's website is sanakibz.com. And if you want to follow her on social media as an individual, it's right here, right before your eyes.
Check it out.
And ladies and gentlemen, the key word tonight is awaken. Is awaken. Is awaken. I might have to say it again because somebody
yes.
They need to awaken.
They need to awaken your inner jewel.
And this lady traveled all around the world from Nigeria. She traveled from one end, the letter N of the world, to the other end of the world, from Nigeria to New York, to do one thing and one thing only. That is to awaken your inner jewel. How you doing? Once again, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing so good, and you have me pumped up with all of the energy that you're bringing and all of the things that you said tonight already has me super, super excited about tonight's interview.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you again, it's prime time. I'm with the lady from Nigeria. She brought her game from one end of the world to the other end of the world in New York City. Media personality, entrepreneur, SK all day, every day. And today we're gonna get into this interview through her keyword of awaken. And she's here to do one thing, and that's awaken your inner jewel. There's a diamond in your rough.
Ooh.
Awaken it. Let's get into this. The A is for Afro flavor. Tell us about your radio show. It comes on New York City.
Yes, so Afro Flavor Radio is the first Afrobeats themed radio show in New York City. We are hosted on 107.5, which is the top 10 urban station in America for African American music. And they are #1 for R&B in New York City. So we are the first Afrobeats themed radio show in the city where we play the top African music songs and also interview your favorite African music artists that are either on the rise or already superstars. So I am super excited about the radio show. It's a year in, and we've already had big names like Tiwa Savage. We've had Yemi Alade. We've had Sean Tizzle. We've had Scales. We've had so many big names that are in Africa. And sooner than later, they're going to become household names, and we did it first.
If Craig Mack was here right now, you know what he'd say? She bringing that Afro flavor to you.
Yeah, hello, and flavor in your ear.
Oh, you know about that. That's what I'm talking about. But hey, the beautiful thing about it is, like I said, you went from one end of the world to the other end of the world, and you didn't let that stop you. That's a blessing. See,
yes.
I gotta say this again, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta awaken your inner jewel. Don't sit there thinking it's gonna be cool. You gotta awaken your inner jewel. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta wake up your Afro flavor.
Yes.
Hey, the W is for woman. Do you think it's important for you to be a role model for the young girls out here?
Yes, it is.
The things you do.
I honestly believe that there are a lot of girls who are either growing up in inner city populations where they don't have a lot of access to a lot of things. And I'm someone who grew up with very humble beginnings. I used to be homeless. My mother's a single parent. I've seen what it takes to be able to nurture and grow children by yourself in America, especially coming from a foreigner. And I want people to be able to see me and understand that it does not matter where you're coming from. All that matters is where you're going. So no matter what you were born into, no matter where you come from, if you truly believe in yourself as an individual and you truly believe that you have what it takes, nothing can stop you. So for any girl out there, I want you to be able to look at me and just understand that I wanted this. And because I wanted this, I took the leap of faith to come to New York City from Maryland by myself. I took the leap of faith to get into television and to get into radio. So if you look at me, I want you to understand that I used to be homeless. I'm not supposed to be here, but then again, I am. And that is why I am here. So for any woman that is watching, please believe that whatever is for you, nobody or nothing can take that away.
And I like that because you say you was homeless, but in your mind and your philosophy, you didn't believe you was homeless. You just say less home than someone.
Yes.
And see, I like that word self you use because the S is for C and the LS is for life. You know, life, self is gonna manifest into your life. It's gonna help you make things happen. The next A is for awakening. Tell us about your jewelry business. What made you want to help others become
awakened? So Awaken Jewelry is a very unique and artistic brand where I wanted to basically be able to give women the opportunity to wear the artistic and unique and different kind of jewelry without breaking the bank. Because there's a lot of girls out there, especially during this pandemic, they either lost their jobs or they come from very humble beginnings, but they love luxurious things or they love high quality items. So I wanted to give them the opportunity to still receive that and get that without having to burn a hole in their pockets. So I created a jewelry company called Awaken Jewelry, and it's AWKN. So I wanted to be a little cool. And I just carry very unique and artistic jewelry that you're not going to find in every single girl, but it doesn't cost $100. It costs about $20. So that's what I wanted to do, to give back to those, because I feel like there's a lot of girls like me who, you know, we want to look luxurious, but we don't want to feel like we put our whole paycheck towards doing so. So Awaken Jewelry was made for that woman or that man, whoever loves jewelry, to be quite honest, to go ahead and find something that they feel like speaks to them, but still is within their budget.
Hey, that's a blessing. That's a blessing because you dropping nuggets, right? Without knowing you dropping nuggets. See, you came from Maryland, and see, my friend, he's a golf coach at Hampton University. I mean, in Howard University in the DC area, and he has a book called Diamonds in the Rough, and you over here talking about awaken your inner jeweler. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing. See, I'm feeling great today, because they ask me sometimes, how is your day? I said, every day is great in the peach state. The K is for kindness. Why should we be kind to one another?
Because it's important. Okay. So here's a philosophy that I came across one day that it really stuck to me. It said it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. And that was said by The Rock. And when I first came across that, I'm like, that is so true, because there's a lot of people who, as they get bigger in life, they start to become very egotistical. They feel like they are bigger than life. And that is cool to feel that way. But every single human being must be loved and treated as as just a human being. Like we tend to forget sometimes as human beings, as we start to get bigger and we start to, you know, become more famous or become more successful, that there are people who could use that pep talk from you. There are people who can feel like they're relatable to you. They knew your story. There are people who are probably just having a really bad day or a bad year, but you just saying hello, or you smiling, or you just making them feel good can really make their day. And so wherever I go, whether it is the janitor, whether it is the waiter, whether it is the president of a company, I try to lead with love, because that is super important to me. Because besides me leaving the room and people remember me because of maybe the way I spoke about something, maybe the way I look, I want them to remember how I made them feel. And I think that is so important, because just like Maya Angelou said, people may forget what you did for them, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And so that is why I try my best to lead with love with whatever it is that I do.
Oh, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Hey, there's some ladies out here watching you right now. I'm telling you. They're not only watching your story, but they sharing your story. You know, there's a young lady in Illinois right now. You know, she's sharing your story. Her website is on top of Paris. There's a young lady in Cleveland, Ohio. She's sharing your story right now.
Amen.
We're awakening the inner jewel. That's why this E is important right now. Many of us out here are making excuses.
Excuses, yes.
Talk to these people about how they can eliminate excuses, or why they need to move these excuses. See, you didn't let homeless stop you, right? But see, a lot of people don't know. One time when my first situation didn't work for me, I was on the floor of my friend's apartment, on the floor without a bed. I just had a pillow and a blanket. So talk to them about moving the obstacles. Talk to them about awakening their inner jewel so much that excuses have no chance.
Listen, you have to ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? What makes you itch? What makes you not sleep at night? What keeps you up? And so that is what you ultimately have to be able to remember whenever it is that you're going after what you desire in this world. What makes you itch? What makes you feel like, I gotta do this every day that I wake up and I think about it, I gotta do it. And when you get to that point where you're feeling like every single day I'm thinking about this thing, the next thing you have to do for yourself is the research. Internet is there. The internet being what it is today has allowed everything to be an even playing field. How bad do you want it? Are you going to do the research? Are you going to invest in yourself and take the online classes? Are you going to go on YouTube and do the classes that they have on there? Are you going to invest in yourself and get on Udemy and all these other platforms to learn better? Are you going to seek? Because God said in the Bible, asking you shall receive, seeking you shall find, knock and the door shall be open for you. So are you making excuses that's keeping you stagnant and debilitated? Or are you using that scripture that God told us to knock so the door can be open for you? And so I believe that anybody out there, if you really truly want something to happen for your life, you have to do what you have to do. You have to put the fear to the side. You have to put the self-doubt to the side, because that is the devil trying to keep you poor. God says in the Bible that we have to make sure that it's faith and it's works. It's not just you praying, it's you also putting the work in. And so it's taken me a while to get here. Trust me, I wasn't born like this. I have learned this along the way, but I know that I want more for my life. And so because the future me wants more for my life, I know that the present me has to do what I have to do to get there. So for anybody that's listening, the excuses are temporary because we all have them, but it cannot be what you lean on, because you're going to stay there and watch others grow. And then when you're going to be on your deathbed one day, you're going to regret everything that you should have done because you were too afraid to go after it.
Hey, that's a blessing right there, because see, you know, people focusing on the virus, right? And they're not focusing on the iris. See, you don't even know what the iris is right now. But see, when you were talking, I was taking notes, right? The eye, right? You got to itch. You gotta be uncomfortable.
Yes.
I'm listening to you. You got to come out of your comfort zone. And the eye, you said you got to research, right?
Yes.
And then the eye, right? You said, I'm using your words. You said you got to invest, right? And then the neck, you said you got to seek.
I love that.
It's an iris. Get off the virus and focus on your iris.
Yes.
You got the itch. You got to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
You got to research. You got to invest. and you gotta seek.
Listen, we gotta make a T-shirt with this. Come on, you trying to go into business? Look, I'm a hustler.
Hey, I'm right there with
Let's
you.
throw this on the back of a T-shirt.
Hey, look here, you know I'm ready. Look here. Before we close out, we got one more letter, but I want to tell people. Some people just coming in. We got a powerful guest right here. They came from one end of the world to the other end of the world. People how they just trying to get their ends to meet. He's a media personality, an entrepreneur, Santa Kibz. I'm trying to tell you, man. You, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta get some of these nuggets in. One of her websites is Awaken Jewelry. Follow her on at Awaken Jewelry. This is a real website for a person. Check that out right there. Check out. I'm telling y'all, this is a blessing. She here to do one thing. That's to awaken your inner jewel. So far, we talked about her radio days and what she's doing on the #1 station in New York City. She talked about the importance of being a role model. She talked about her jewelry line, why she should be kind. We talked about focusing on the iris and not the virus. The end, the last letter in Awakening is for next.
Yes.
What is next for you in this journey to success?
I am a forever hustler, so I'm always working on what can I do next. So next, I'm working on a project in Atlanta. It's possibly going to be something that would possibly be on TV. So right now, it's still in the works, but I'm working on that. I'm also trying to expand my jewelry line as well as my social media marketing business. So right now, I created a system for small businesses to be able to grow on social media because there's a lot of people due to the pandemic, they had to either close up shop or they had to kind of figure out how online was going to be able to help their business. So I took all the industry training that I know from working for big corporations. I basically made that into a business, and I now help small businesses become, bigger online. So for anybody out there who was trying to get online or don't really understand how to really make, social media work for them or SEO work for them for their websites, please hit me up.
Hey, I appreciate everything you said today. Before we go, is there anything else you'd like to say?
I would like to say for anybody out there, bloom where you are planted. Your circumstances is only temporary, but where you are in life right now, make sure you bloom. Be as good as you can be in whatever it is that you want to do in life, and understand that where you are right now is just a stepping stone and a ladder to the next level of your life. But wherever you are, let it be the best, because we have human beings, we just have a very future thinking, always wanting to get to the next level of our future without realizing that our present is our gift. So just try your best to be present in the circumstance that you are, and just bloom where God has placed you.
Hey, that's a blessing. We live here on Labor Day, but see, Labor Day is not just one day a year. Labor Day is every day you put in work.
Yes.
And she talked about bloom where you plant it, right? But see, when you plant it, it comes from a seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the word seed. When you're at home, you got S-E-E, and then you got D, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to see the dream, see the destiny. You have to see the development. You have to see the destruction so you can get to the development. Sometimes you got to go around. You got to see the detour. I'm just trying to tell you, you got to see it to believe it.
Yes.
Like we saying, you got to don't just focus on the virus. It's going to be there.
Yes.
Sickness going to be there. Flu is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Put some thoughts, put some time into your iris.
Yes. Ooh, I love that.
The research until you invest in it, and you got to go get it. You got to seek it.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a blessing to be here tonight.
Thank you so
Another
much.
episode of Prime Time. And like I say, the M is small and it's quiet because in life, the smaller things will quietly lead you to the big opportunity. Follow me once again on all social media platforms at Entertainer and even on Cash App. Ends are meeting tonight. Your ends are going to meet tonight because she came from one end of the world to the other end of the world. She been homeless, but she's in her mind, it was less home, and she started the wrong.
Yes.
You talking to a media personality. You talking to an entrepreneur on one of the top radio stations in the country. Check her website out, Awaken Jewelry. Check her other website out, SonicKibz.com. And she came here to do one thing, and she did that one thing. That is to awaken your inner jewel. This is key because, like I tell people all the time, in life, build your craft and work in it. Like we saying, focus on your iris.
Yes.
Because what you say and what you do may be the only school that somebody ever sees. Until next time, I thank you for your time. And my friend Zay's gonna take us out. Zay Sanford Music. Follow him on Twitter, follow him on Instagram. Zay Sanford Music. He's gonna take us out with the hook. Don't just look.
You will be amazed. Prime time interview with Derrick Hayes. Prime time. Biggest names in the game. Prime time. New names